fantastic facility, Dumi. As you say, all the up and coming players, they go through here. They hone their skills here. South Africa very blessed to have a facility like this, giving each player every opportunity to grow their game. Nice to see a few people in.
Neatly done. They're still pushing for that 2. They'll decide against it wisely. Now it is nice to see that South Africa A is playing here. Most of these batsmen and these players actually playing in the South African A side have been through the same process right here at the HPC, which is fantastic to see.
Slip coming into play again. Wide delivery, slashed, no run. Maybe a little bit of a better option than the reverse. But he plays it really well, and he feels there's a gap for him.
It's bowled well, Ramat. Must say he's been very impressive today. He hasn't complicated it a lot. He has given it air where it's necessary. He's asked these batsmen to make the initiative, to make the mistakes. And on occasions they have.
Again, very well bowled. Afghanistan need to stop the single there. Really good delivery. Yeah, I think sometimes what Zondo also tries to do, the reverse sweep, puts a little bit of doubt in the bowler's mind. And it's not always just the outcome of the reverse sweep, but the bowler sort of doubts and sort of waits for the shot, and you might mess around with his lengths. So that's one of the keys. It's not always hit a reverse for 4.
We're bowled once again. Picture we've seen often enough. Playing the miss. End of the 36th. 196 for 3.
Really well bowled. A little bit of drift. And some purchase off the wicket. Beats the outside edge again. Certainly, later in the day, we will see some turn for the South Africans. Of course, Shamsi is playing. He'll be licking his lips. Also, Pangiso, left arm spinner for South Africa, is also playing. They'll play a massive role in the middle part of the South African bowling innings.
Advances down the wicket and he's dropped. He's dropped an extra cover, Reza Hendricks. He's come down the wicket, he's met it halfway. And it looked like the fielder has just hurt himself there trying to catch that ball.
Reza trying to up the ante there. Just got too close to it, didn't get the elevation he was looking for. Straight to cover and he's put it down.
Been playing very well, Reza Hendricks. That's what he's done the whole day. He hasn't settled, he hasn't allowed the bowlers to settle on this occasion as well. First ball, he comes down the wicket, gives himself a little bit of room, gets underneath it, just doesn't quite get the elevation, dropped it extra cover.
It's cut really hard, straight to the sweeper. Only one. Yeah, Afghanistan, you feel those are the sort of chances that you need to take. Keep South Africa under pressure. They've been scoring freely, and those are the chances you need to take.
Misfielded again at extra cover, and it's going all the way down to the sweeper boundary. Well fielded. Shaw still is still recovering from that drop catch, and rightfully so by the captain. Gets swapped. Goes all the way to the sweeper boundary, something fielders don't usually enjoy.
Yeah, it's Ramat. Hope he didn't injure his fingers too badly. He's the guy that's been bowling really good leg spin. He's now moved to the boundary. Risa Hendricks on strike. Works it nicely for a single on the leg side. He's been really impressive to me. He's hit boundaries at will, but what he really does well is he works the ball in the gap, and you know, bowlers can't settle.
Quicker one, manages to kick it out. Kaya Zondo, end of the over. After the 36th, South Africa 201 for 3.
He's feeling very...
Well, Ramat still into the attack. He seems fine. There we can see the projected scores currently going at 5.5, 270. South Africa will be looking a lot more than that. It's between 8 and 10 runs and over from here. One feels that they will get above 300. 7 wickets in hand. 200 on the scoreboard.
Premeditated.
Now you almost get the feeling Riza feels, and now's the time for him to put the foot down. We've got 7 wickets in hand. He sees the ball really well, so now's a good time for him to stamp on the accelerator a little bit.
We're fielded. You can almost see the body language of these two batsmen. I think they want to keep going. They want to keep the momentum going in the right direction. They don't want these guys to settle. Fills it with his foot. That's a bit of pain, that.
Ramat in the wars. He got one on the finger. He's down. Just really, really well struck. Stuck a foot out. That can hurt. He's got the shoe off straight away. Looks to be in real pain. Hopefully he's okay.
He's been in the wars, Ramat, in the last couple of balls. Dropped one at extra cover. Swapped by the captain to the boundary because of his painful finger. And now he's won one on the foot. That's why coaches will always say, use your hands, get down, use your hands.
Oh, just sticks the foot out. It's some flush on the, looks like it is some flush on the toe. It really stings. But a magic spray will do the business.
Magic spray always does the job. Just 1 or 2 sprays, and he's going to get up and continue with the bowling.
You can see South Africa scoring freely. The quickest one was the first one, but one feels the next 12 overs, that'll up. South Africa got a lot of strikers to come. And Riza Hendricks there, he's on 100. He'll look to up the ante.
Absolutely, they've got some big finishes down the order. Looking at 300 plus, definitely at this moment. But anything can happen in those last 5 overs with the likes of Dwayne Pretorius coming in with the big bats. man of the match against India, he will look to continue his good form. He's up and ready to go. Ramat. It's a bit unsure about their field settings at the moment. They have a point, they have a short third man, short fine leg and a square leg. Short, he rocks back. Reza Hendricks. He'll settle for a single.
Yeah, Ramat's been really good. He's got a square leg up, but it hasn't been easy sweeping him today. He gets a little bit of purchase, a little bit of bounce as well. Today.
Advances down the wicket. That's it nicely to the man at extra cover. That will end the over. 206 for 3 after 38. And the change in commentary here. Greer van Veek will be accompanied by Kobe Spinall.
Thank you very much to Misa and Johan. As we look at the South African A scorecard, like mentioned before, there's some big power hitters to come, but the 115 from 114 balls is a standout innings here this far by Hendricks. He has played beautifully, and he'd want to make sure that he gets a daddy 100 here. Not just a 120, but a big 140, 50, 60.
Good single out to the cover sweeper. Sharaf changed of line for him. He bowls from the high performance Cricket South Africa centre at the moment. Changed of sides for him at the moment. He's been a very good bowler so far for the Afghanistan attack.
Stop Najib, dear Allah Najiba. Excellent Najib. Now Sharaf.
Confusion in the middle. Rousseau makes it to the striker's end. There was a half stop by the fielder at short cover, but luckily communication was good enough for them to scurry through for a single.
Yeah, always dangerous running on a misfield, but Afghanistan have done a couple of good stops in the last couple of overs, which helped them. We felt they lacked a bit of effort in the fielding department for the first 30, 40 overs of this innings today, and they definitely have picked it up to the back end of the innings here.
Hendricks just continues to flow as he pushes one all the way down to deep point boundary. The partnership between him and the captain Kaya Zondo also growing nicely now, as Zondo is on 15 of 21 balls. Hendricks progresses to 180 not out. Good early call by Kaya Zondo as he gets through for another single, and runs just really leaking with this Afghanistan A side now, and these two batters are looking well set to take this deep into the 40th over and up that rate.
Bit of a lazy shot there by Kaya Zondo. Brings to the end of the 39th over. South Africa A 211 for 3. I think it's very important as the captain there. I think he'll have good discussion with Reza Hendricks in terms of momentum going into the last few overs here. I think collapse of 2 wickets here now will just stop the flow of runs to the back end here. So it's important for one of them to go through the innings and for the big strikers to build with them and to have a bit more freedom to play with.
Absolutely, and sometimes it's a good idea to almost count your way back, to discuss what is a good score on this wicket and work your way backwards from there and how you are going to do it. So even if one guy really looks to take the initiative here in the next couple of overs and one guy goes through to at least the 42nd, 43rd and 4th over. But as we see another change in bowling, Ramat comes into the attack.
Very good feed there by Reza Hendricks. Uses the depth of the crease, nice and deep in his crease, and get it to the cover sweeper for an easy single. Yeah, I agree with you. We said at the 30th over 340 looked par, but pace of the wicket and the wicket gets slower, it becomes tough, and I think they've got to reassess while they're out there.
Slog sweep, fielder on it, but it flies over him. And a beautiful stroke by Captain Kaya Zondo as there's a clear indication that he's going to look to take him the bowler on here. They've had a brief chat between overs and a wonderful shot against the turn to the deep mid-wicket fielder, but the ball just kept flying. He tries to go the other way this time.
Yeah, the bowler saw him going down earlier and he pushed it a bit wider. What was impressive about that previous shot is how well Kaya Zondo get into a great position there to allow his hands freely and to get his hands through the ball as well as he did.
He goes deep and across. Now forces this one down to a long off boundary to get Reza Hendricks back on strike. But the good thing about this partnership as well is the more Zondo starts to become aggressive, it takes a lot of pressure off Hendricks as well. He doesn't have to force the pace. He can just continue with the way he's been playing all day. He's had great initiative and he can go deep.
Very well used the crease there, get it nice and deep, get it behind square for another 2 there by Reza Hendricks. We've spoken about the Afghanistan fielding we've picked up a little bit after the second drinks break, and there you've seen a bit of energy and a bit of effort there again to stop that boundary, which is always good to see from a coach's point of view.
That takes South Africa A to 221 for 3 after 40 overs.
If you look at a conservative approach here, run a ball for the last 10 overs gets us to 281, which is a base that Africans should look at work at. And then if you look at a boundary on, add another 40 runs there and it gets us back to our 320. So I think that will be some sort of a discussion in the middle just to see where they can be and look where they are at 45 and then actually set a target to go towards the end. If you look at the back end, you're going to struggle. So I think it's important from their point of view to have a process in place here of how they're going to get to that final score.
As the umpire shows the signal for the final power play of this innings, I really believe that South Africa would be looking in excess of 300 here. Captain realizes he can have 5 men on the ring, but then he brings mid on up. No, he goes back again.
Very good energy there by Reza Hendricks to get a strike there and to get a 1. You can straight away see how they sit on the back end of the inner circle there. So it's an easy one every single time. And then it's going to allow to get that easy 6s. And there's going to be some sort of an option there for a boundary. And quickly it becomes a big over.
As soon as your good ball goes for 1, you are under pressure as a bowler. So that's where you really need a slightly more aggressive fielding outlook for the fielders here. If you just sit back, they will chase in way excess of 300. So you've still got to try and stay in the game here, not give up. Look to defend 280. And this is a really important target for the fielders as well as the captain.
It's a very good bumper there, good pace there. And we said we've been impressed with him, the left-arm opening bowler today. And it just shows there again, he comes back and he makes an input into the game with good energy into the wicket and a very good short ball there.
I think it's really important on slow wickets that you use your short ball, but use it effectively. You don't want it to be a drag down where it only gets about hip or shoulder height. It has to be nice and high. It just stops you from a batter to come forward the whole time. So a good initiative there by the Afghanistani attack. Follows it up with a nice leg cutter. But Zondo very efficient in just tucking away into mid-wicket to keep the scoreboard going.
Yeah, the point you made about that short ball is very important because it sort of gives a little bit of doubt in terms of the batter's movements. He can't really wait on the front foot for every single ball. He needs to be a little bit more decisive in his decision making, and that just allows the batter a little bit of doubt to maybe get away with a couple of dot balls or a potential wicket.
Beautiful shot by Risa Hendricks. This time both mid-on and middle for up, and he decides to target the side screen. He doesn't get the whole of it, but he times it well enough to pick up another 4.
Yeah, classy shot by Reza Hendricks. 128 of 122 balls. He really summed up these conditions very well, and it's a great shot. He knew he knew he had a chance there, and he just exploited the area where they had the 2 mid-on and mid-off up in the circle, which brought a field change now, where finally comes back into the circle and long on go down to the boundary.
He goes again, this time over mid-off. Ball is high. Takes a hopper, skip and a jump, and goes for 4. So Risa Hendricks just showing his whole repertoire here. He went straight with both mid-on and mid-off up, and this time he goes over mid-off. Quite a difficult shot on a slow wicket where the ball just holds a little bit, but beautifully executed by him. And he's taken 2 back-to-back boundaries of this over, and there's been 10 scored of this over already. Has a real go at that delivery as a bowler is wide, but that takes Africa 232 for 3 after 41 overs.
Can see a little bit of a grin there on Reza Hendricks' face, but he really tried to hit another boundary of that last ball, which is good. And we asked for that intensity in the last 10 overs, and that's very, very good from South Africa to give us that momentum going in with 9 overs left. And to play clever there, where they exploited the field, which was very good for us to start the last 10 overs.
Change of bowling, left arm around.
A change of bowling into the attack, Sharaf.
Sharaf. Yes, Shafi, ball, Shafi.
A definite tactic here by the South African A captain. We saw him target the slow bowler at the start of the previous over. And I won't be surprised if he looks to do the same here.
Moves nice and deep in his crease, guys, under there, and he hits it down to long off for an easy single. But you can clearly see he's targeting that leg side boundary there with the position he gets himself in. Sharaf have really been good today. He's been a standout from the Afghanistan point of view. He summed up conditions quite well after his first over, and he bowled nicely.
Tucked into the leg side, they'll be pushing for 2 years. The 2 fielders on the ropes. Very, very good running between the wickets. Sometimes a forgotten element about batting, but these 2 executed that nicely. It's not just a game that's all about power, but that placement and urgency between the wickets has come through nicely in this partnership as well.
Yeah, and it's good to see Reza's adaptable. He just showed the 2 boundaries with power the previous over, and then he have that to his game also. Great play, and it just shows why he's playing at this level.
Very good pace into the wicket for the spin bowler there. And we could see the wicket already starting to slow up a little bit. Hendricks not able to just push his hands through the line of the ball to get a single to long off.
Well, he tried a bit of a quick one there and wide there. Arm ball didn't work as well as it did. Fielder stopped it at the boundary, but sloppy. And they came back for a third. Very good running by Kaya Zondo and Reza Hendricks. Gives us 4 in total there. A wide and three runs there. Bit of a bad ball there. He tried the arm ball, which didn't work to good effect.
Inside half of the bat, which gets Zondo another single. Yes, things just, the general tidiness of the Afghanistan A side just slowly starting going south. Like we mentioned earlier, this is the difference. These last 8 overs between chasing 340 or 300. So very important that they keep their standards high.
Quicker ball there by Sharaf, and well moved by Reza Hendricks to get it into the gap to pick up another 2 runs there. To end the 42nd over, South Africa A on 242 for 3. A nice momentum with us going into the last 8 overs.
Just a summary of how the power plays have gone. You'll see the run rate in that first power play being very efficient for the South African side. Probably when the ball was nice and hardest, as well as coming on nicely. But Afghanistan actually did a reasonable job of pegging the side back during those middle overs, where they would have liked to be really successful, probably 4 or 5 wickets, which has put them under a lot of pressure going into this third power play.
A very good change up there by Karim, where he went full into the block hole there to get the first dot. And it just shows that he's got that skill also at the back end of the innings. It's just important also from an Afghanistan point of view, because when are they going to go in terms of depth bowling when they try and nail the Yorkers and the change up here. I personally feel it's a little bit early. I'm not too sure what your thoughts are on this, Kriya.
I think it's interesting. As you look how Zondo sets up, he's definitely gone deep into his crease here. So it'll be interesting which area he targets off the seamers. He went leg side against the spinners. Let's see where he goes here. He's gone leg side, deep over square leg, and something had to give there. A wonderful shot by Kaya Zondo as he went deep in his crease and swung it over deep square leg for another boundary. So a definite tactic from the South African A captain here that he's going to give it a full go and allow Reza Hendricks to bat through the innings here.
Yeah, that's an incredible shot. If you look at where he set himself up in the crease, as you said, nice and deep outside that off stump. He sort of knows when he missed the ball, he's in trouble, but it gives him so much options to get boundaries on both sides of the wicket. Anything short of a length is going to look to go leg side, and anything fulls, you just open up the offside. So quite a good ploy by him, and obviously he's in good form here, seeing the ball nicely, so it worked in his favour.
And he shows good calmness by getting a boundary and then a single, but a clear indication that Zondo wants to take the initiative here. He realizes that under normal circumstances, South African A won't get bowled out here, and he's in search of that big score as a captain. Always nice going into the break as a captain, knowing that you've got a very, very good score on the board, and he's taken upon his own shoulders here to really show the initiative nice and early.
Go on, boy, go on!
Change of field here by Afghanistan, where you can see they got both men out long on and long off. They had to bring in third man into the circle, which is quite dangerous, but I think the angle that he's bowling with, if the ball goes to third man, will be quite unlucky if he attacks the stumps.
Hendricks this time as Zondo charges down the wicket to try and get him back for the second, but there's only one ever to a shortish long on boundary.
Apart from the sick that Kaya Zonda hit over deep square, it's been quite a good over here by Farid. He definitely nailed the Yorkers here, and it's been a good over so far from an Afghanistan point of view, bar the 6.
Absolutely, and going into these last 2 deliveries of the over, Zonda will most definitely look to target him again. Let's see how the bowler adjusts. Will he go fuller and trust that Yorker of his, or will he bowl that slower ball into the wicket? Chips it to the leg side, aerial option, but he falls well short of the fielder at long on as he goes through for another single.
There you can see Farid, 6.5 overs, north of 37. If you take that 6 away, he's going below the run rate of the game so far. And he's really been bustling and trying hard. There hasn't been a lot of assistance for a seam bowler today. And apart from that, he's been trying hard. Here's a free hit with a change of batter. So Reza Hendricks for the 3rd time today got a bit of a easy shot to play and try and exploit the field and see where he can get a boundary. Let's see, 3rd time lucky if he can get a 6 first here.
All the fielders go to the edge of the ring as the captain and fielders just make sure that they try and prevent a boundary here. Hendricks goes deep in his crease and squeezes one out to the long off boundary as a bowler really executes a nice wide Yorker there to Reza Hendricks. Amazing how many free hits in the modern game doesn't go for boundaries. I think it's sometimes probably a case of batters having too many ideas or maybe trying to power ball too much, but it's something which probably not a lot of attention goes into the preparation of preparing for a free hit as well.
Yeah, it's a very good point you make there. I just always feel you've got to be calm and just play a good cricket shot there because there's a bit of freedom involved with that. And I just looked at the field there and I just think the ball he bowled, he only had one option, he's going to go full. So maybe for Reza to maybe have tried some invention there at the back end over fine leg, maybe would have been a good option.
And unfortunately another extra for the Afghanistan A side. It puts a bowler under immense amount of pressure because all of a sudden now he has to bowl 8 balls and 1 over.